growing zinnias and growing them to get a bigger harvest. Hi and welcome back to the farmhouse. I am Deanne from Hummingbird Acres, and today we are spending some time in our cut flower garden, and I am going to do some work on our zinnias. I want to start by saying zinnias are a beautiful cut flower. They are easy to grow, and if you are looking to start growing cut flowers in your backyard, I highly suggest starting with zinnias. I will link below some of our favorite varieties that we love to grow. They are just so easy and so beautiful to just add cut flowers to your kitchen table on a weekly basis, and they also produce and produce and produce as long as you cut them. But today I'm going to talk to you guys about some of the things that I have learned growing zinnias and growing them to get a bigger harvest. Now, the first thing we're going to talk about is called pinching. And pinching is something you do to some flowers and some veggies as well that encourages the plant to branch. So instead of having one main stem, it ends up having two. By doing that, it is going to give you more blooms, or if it is a pepper, you're going to end up getting more peppers. More branches, more blooms, or more fruit if you're growing fruits or vegetables. Now, I also want to note that not every plant benefits from pinching. So make sure that you do a little bit of research before you start pinching your plants. If you are going to pinch a determinate tomato, you are going to lose your harvest because determinate tomatoes only produce so many tomatoes. You also don't want to pinch stock, which is another beautiful cut flower, but stock only produces one stem of blooms. So if you pinch it, you've lost all your blooms. Single stem sunflowers are the same way. They have one stem, one bloom. So if you pinch that, you've lost your bloom. But zinnias, cosmos, dahlias, and many other cut flowers benefit from a pinching. So let's dive right into how we're going to do this. This here is our zinnia bed. This bed is completely planted with zinnias, and you can see here I have a gorgeous zinnia plant. It does have a little bit of yellowing on these bottom leaves, but I'm not too worried. We did get a lot of rain recently, and these were a little bit affected by the cold weather we got at the beginning of the spring. So in order to pinch this plant, I'm going to come up the stem, and I want to pinch just below, or right there at the second set of true leaves. And I just use my fingers to pinch it off, and then this part goes in the compost. So it still has 4 leaves, and then right here it will branch into 2, and it will grow higher, which will give us more flowers. Let's take a look at another one. So this one here actually has a lot growing on it, and it even has a bud. And you can see it's just one bud. We want to encourage more buds and more growing, so we're going to pinch. So I'm going to come up the stem, and I am going to pinch it right about here. You can pinch with your fingers, or you can pinch with a pair of snips. I just normally use my fingers because it's easier. Also note that when you are pinching, you are going to be delaying your time to get a harvest from these flowers, but in the end, you're going to end up with more blooms, so it's not really going to matter. I am going to continue pinching all of the zinnias in this bed, and then we are going to work on getting these zinnias staked up so that they can have really long stems. I want to show you guys what it looks like after a zinnia is pinched and it has started to grow again. So this is one that I pinched last week, and as you can see here, you can see the little dead pinch there in the middle, but then you can see that it has already started to branch off, 1 and 2, to make 2 main stems instead of 1. This is going to give us, like I said, more blooms and just a bigger, more beautiful blooms, even though it is going to delay our harvest just a little bit. I also want to note that the best time to pinch your zinnias is when they are under a foot tall. So as you can see, all of ours here are under a foot tall. So this is the perfect time to pinch them, to keep them healthy and to get more blooms. The next thing that we are going to do to keep these zinnias healthy and growing really strong is we are going to stake them. Now, if we were going to stake each and every plant, it would take a long time and it would be a lot of maintenance over the life of these plants. So instead, we are going to use netting to help hold these zinnias up during those freak summer storms that have a lot of rain and high wind. Now I can tell you, last year I did not stake our zinnias. I was the lazy gardener and just didn't do it. And I can tell you, I lost a lot of zinnias that way. They toppled over, and then when they started to regrow, their stems weren't straight. They kind of had like a hook to them, and they were not usable in any bouquets. So this year, I am making sure that I stake my zinnias using netting, and I'm doing it early so that they grow up through the netting correctly and they are healthy and happy. So I'm going to start by taking stakes. I am going to use bamboo stakes. You can also use T-post, and I will link a bunch of different options for you below. But I'm going to put 4 stakes. I actually might do 6. 3 on each side, and then I'm going to use our netting and stretch it over. I'm going to do 2 layers of netting. 1 layer at about a foot tall, and then another layer about 2 feet above that, making it so that the zinnias grow up through the netting and they have that extra support so we can get some nice long sturdy stems. So here is the first layer of netting down. It wasn't too bad. You do probably want 2 people in order to do this. It will make it a little bit easier, but I made do. Now I'm going to put up the second layer. 2 all done, and I do have room for a 3rd layer if down the road or into the season I feel like we might need another layer. Yes, I had lots of help for this project, but it always makes it more fun. If you want to see more of our zinnias and how they are doing on the daily, make sure that you head on over to Instagram and give us a follow so that you can see all of the progress, the daily progress our garden is making. And if you want to see more of our homestead and more of our homesteading adventures, make sure that you hit subscribe and that notification bell to be notified the next time I upload a new video. Oh, and because I forgot, if you want to know more about growing cut flowers, make sure you head on over to our website and check out our cutting garden course. It has everything you need to know about how to start growing cut flowers in your backyard today. It is super affordable and it has so much information jam-packed inside. Thanks for hanging out with me at the farmhouse, and we will talk to you soon.